Getting.
Oh, look at that.
He plugged it in. Sometimes, I don't know if you knew this, Sean, but you have to plug in cables sometimes to achieve a connection.
Damn it.
And sometimes, some connections, though, are wireless, like us to you currently.
Oh.
And we hope to connect with all of you wirelessly through our hearts and minds.
Well, thank you, Dave Nye, the science guy, for all the explanation.
I was going more Neil deGrasse Tyson on this. Our minds connect wirelessly.
Nice.
And I should put this back on. Our minds can connect wirelessly.
Let's do another quick intro of The Prince. So we just put out a lyric video for our song called The Prince.
This summer.
It's a shortened version of the long version that we have on our album. We did that for radio purposes.
Yes.
And we decided to make a lyric video out of it, and it came out very well. Our friend Scott Rudd from the UK whipped it together.
Who's done all of our lyric videos.
Correct.
For Glory.
This is our fourth.
Yeah.
We also have one for Enemy and Revolt and Afraid, and now The Prince. And we're going to debut it again on our, we're going to debut it on our podcast right now. It has been on YouTube and Facebook, but let's just go through with it.
Coming to you live.
Let's do it. Let's check it out.
Yeah, I can't believe
this
entire bullshit.
Check it out. Sometimes BS happens. Oh, looking pretty good.
I love his logo, too. He's got a tight
He's got a
logo.
cool logo.
He does.
Oh, that guitar tone, though, it's pretty good.
Guitar tone's great.
Wow.
And, of course, for those of you who don't know, this lyric video includes a lot of art from our very long-time collaborator, Mark Sasso, who's done all the album artwork and has done all of the specific single artwork as well. It just looks great. Dude's so killer. Everything looks so, like Dave said, Game of Thronesy, but also unique to our story.
Totally.
Yeah.
In the flames.
Yeah.
And there's flames.
Good color. Yeah. Some nice red on blue.
Red and blue. Red, white, and blue. My favorite colors. And Kev, just again, if you might be better at describing or kind of telling the tale of these two humanoids and what they actually represent in this video.
So, of course, like I said before, these are the humanoids. This is art that was created by Mark Sasso. And these two humanoids, I guess, are, and I say humanoid because obviously they're like knightly-looking creatures with wings.
And they're clearly sparring.
And they're clearly sparring. So one is lighter and one is darker.
Look it up.
So The Prince is about, just briefly about the song, The Prince is about a young leader, understudy, I guess, a prince who is, coming to power. And whether he's usurping that power or he's attaining it through a more traditional means is kind of up to the listener, actually. Cool. Although this pre-chorus really suggests he's kind of usurping it. Again, it's up to interpretation.
I kind of see this. I mean, I see a little bit of this as almost like an eternal conflict of this person.
And I think that's the message. That's definitely the message of the whole album is that, leaders who come to power, however it may be, which again is up to interpretation in this song, is they struggle with the nature of how to be a good leader, how to be effective without
being it right now.
How to be effective without being ineffective. We're doing all sorts of testing.
Spear fingers.
Don't do it, man.
Socialist. I'm not a comrade.
Yeah. Pet those feathers. And so, again, there's the single artwork.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just Mark Sasso.
Way.
That's the story of the humanoids. It's just the conflict of, leadership style and everything.
It's cool.
Is that Dave Rico solo?
There it is. Cut right to the solo.
Oh, baby. Can't cut that out. The cool thing about that solo, too, is it really embellishes one of the melodic themes that we reuse a few times on this concept album.
That's right.
It takes it kind of arpeggiates it a bit, and it's really cool. So everything about,
kind of ties it all together.
It's all premeditated, baby.
It is, baby. It's all planned out, but it symbolizes the journey that this character is going through. Almost.
Yeah,
it's kind of like his motif. If this was like almost like a play, then that'd be like as soon as this guy always walks out, the prince. That's his motif. You know?
I mean, this album could be a play.
It definitely could be.
Yeah, it could be. And
Biblical.
It's super biblical. We can make it a musical.
Oh shoot, we're gonna get flagged, bros. Blood.
Oh no, that's right.
That's just red. That's just red.
He's just got some red on him.
He's got.
I'm leaking jelly beans.
Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah. He got red on you.
You got red on you. Yeah. Even through a zombie apocalypse, someone needs to tell you got a stain on your shirt. Yeah. You can't let it go.
Nope.
Some good movie references going.
That's it.
Cool.
Nice. A good ending. Another great job by Scott Rudd.
Yeah, make sure that you subscribe to our channel. Click on this little circle here.
Thank you very much.
We don't want to see this, do we?
We're gonna put a pause on all things Ascending from Ashes.
Yeah.
Now.
Don't want to.
Back in time to the Phoenix EP.
Because some of you might be out there.
Asphyxiation.
Oh, is this live?
No, this is just this is just the song.
Also, YouTube made all of our albums into some kind of like video.
Yeah.
They do that automatically with
topic or whatever
CD
they put.
Baby.
They make playlists.
So just Google Ascending from Ashes and you'll see us. Google Ascending from Ashes videos and you'll see us. Just Google us. Google us all night.
You know,
I think Google away.
Some of that organization might be a result of their streaming service, which is growing, and it's something I want to get to. But first, I think the more important news in the music industry is Lil Nas X and Old Town Road.
What's going on with that?
Usurping the record.
Oh,
he now is he has the longest consecutive run at number one on the Hot 100.
This be like middle school kids right now.
Middle school kids, dude. Everybody's like that. This is the 17th week that Old Town Road.
Well, it's certainly a hit
one.
though with the younger kids.
Yeah, sure.
You know,
and that's I guess what's going to define its success.
It's a start. Like, Mommy, take me to the Nas X. Take me to the Nas X concert. I love Old Town Road. That's your boy right there.
Your boy.
Damn my old Town Road.
It's catchy. It's wild, the success of this song. Now, pop quiz, hot shots.
Oh,
who did Lil Nas X with 17 weeks? Who did he usurp as the previous record holder for longest consecutive number one hit?
Eminem.
No, good guess, but no.
Britney Spears.
No.
None of those, like popper.
None of those. It's actually I think a couple songs were tied.
Well, like old school stuff.
Think of a very recent big hit.
One Dance by Drake.
Oh, close. You're on the right track, but that's not it either.
I was going to say Post Malone.
It's gonna be Drake.
Listeners, anybody out there? What do you think? Without looking it up, because these boys can't look it up because I'm sitting right next to them.
No, we
that
can't.
Drake
That'd be
was
cheating. That was pretty close, right? It's probably another Drake song.
Is it Drake?
It's two songs that were tied at 16 weeks. One,
Bodak Yellow.
One
maybe?
was a much older song called "One Sweet Day" by Mariah Carey and Boyz II Men.
Can't say I know that one.
Well, now the other is within the last 2 years, and here's a hint: it featured Justin Bieber.
Oh, Despacito.
Yeah, hell yeah, I should have known that.
Despacito. Yeah, I mean, I'm even, it was a popular song, but sometimes it's hard to predict the exact chart performance.
Get it out of here! Get it out of here!
Damn, that was a long heckle.
Yeah, they don't like Despacito.
They were heckling, all right.
But like Kevin had said, someone must.
But it's just, and a lot of that, I think, a lot of like this success now is also measured not just by sale of music, but by streaming, because streaming actually accounts for about 75% of revenue from recorded music. I don't know.
Speaking of,
wow.
Tool just got on all streaming platforms.
Yeah, that was
they're
a big
breaking
announcement.
records now.
Oh yeah.
And I remember I saw you post something like, "Guess I'm going to listen to Tool now."
Yeah,
same.
Yeah, and I should too.
I said I
Wow.
never thought I'd see the day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
and
they
they
are,
were the last, like one of the last rock giants to hold out.
Hold out until now.
Yeah, but I guess when the money's running low, gotta
and
pick it up somewhere.
You know what? And they want to start promoting, I guess, because they have another album coming out finally.
That's a good
Who
point,
knows?
too.
That this is another. We could start taking bets on when that album will actually come out. But
August 30th.
is that
Is that the
August
announced
30th.
date? Oh wow.
should I hold my breath?
No, because it's definitely coming out August
Okay.
30th. It has a name too, something fear, infurious fear, something like that.
Oh, it's a cool name. No, yeah, it's not. It's like we should look it up.
Yeah, I'm doing that right
instead of just guessing. But yeah, streaming is now, not to my surprise at all, but like I said, 75%. And actually, I just saw, I was just looking at an article that said.
now. Wait, hold on a second. Oh no, that's.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Keep going.
Okay, I just learned that, and here's the exact quote of the headline of this article: major labels. So for those of you who don't know, there are 3 major music, I guess, conglomerates in the music industry: Universal Music, Sony, and Warner. And the headline of this article is that major labels are close to generating $1 million from streaming every hour.
Wow.
So almost $24 million a day. And I think that's a collective figure, or at least it is that's the joint number. I don't know. I'd have to dig into that to get the specifics, but it's wild. And
is that comparable to the amount of money they would make through record sales in, let's say, the 2000s?
I actually don't know.
Marginally, does this sound like a big number to us? But marginally,
it's a big
less.
number, I guess, when you think about the fact that there's no maybe distribution involved. I don't know what the profit
Less
margin
overhead.
comparison would be like,
Yeah.
but I do know that. According to this, while that is a big number, they are saying that the growth of streaming revenue is slowing down. So not that they're still not profiting from it, but the growth of it is actually starting to slow down. I think it's a very subtle slowdown, but it's notable because it's the first slowdown, I think, in some time.
Well, I wonder why.
Yeah, why is it
What's
slowing
the next
down?
thing?
I think that the growth is just slowing down. So I think sooner or later you're
going to live
It's just
streaming.
gonna be, it's going to be stagnation. Everyone
Sooner
will
or
have.
later, everybody's going to,
sense.
It's going to have Spotify.
And I was actually looking at, I think, the statistic for, how the streaming revenue has occurred, and most of it is from paid subscriptions. It's not; they don't really get much from advertising revenue. So most people actually are paying instead of going with those free models and subscriptions, so they can have high quality commercial free music.
Nice. Why not?
So it's interesting, and there's a lot of I'm a big I think we're all pretty big Spotify people.
Guilty.
But,
Yeah, I've been on it.
there are a lot of options out there. Spotify and Apple Music, I believe, are the 2 biggest contenders. But you have Amazon, Google, and like we were saying before, YouTube now. YouTube's got the whole video aspect too.
Yeah.
I don't know much about YouTube's actually.
What, like their premium?
Yeah,
YouTube Premium, YouTube Red,
and their subscription, but even beyond just YouTube Red, I think they have a strictly music.
Yeah, it's YouTube Music
for just listening. Yeah,
yeah. It's probably just pretty similar to Spotify.
Yeah.
I think I remember reading that actually one of the cons of that is that there are 2 platforms. So rather than having it all in one platform, you have the video part and the audio part separate. Which I mean,
think then it's
it's
just a matter of
2019.
content,
we're all
maybe.
lazy, but it's a matter of
one of them
content
has
separation.
some new content over the others, which is pretty cool. I mean, the streaming services also went along with the internet and how we're able to, kind of create our own content, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely a bright side to it. There's a bright side to the business changing. It's pretty cool
for reaching people.
Yeah.
I mean, it costs, and again, that goes back to the distribution argument. It costs almost nothing these days to get your music onto some of these streaming services, and some of the big counter arguments are, well, it pays next to nothing, but it also didn't cost you much to get it there.
Yeah,
So
right.
I mean, I didn't really dig into the economics of it all. And it depends on what kind of.
I think that's something we should know, right?
Well, you can look up.
Yeah,
like,
it depends on the
Being
scale
that
of
all
your
of our
business.
music is on all streaming platforms all around the internet.
Check it out.
We should find out how much. There he is. Oh.
There they are.
We should find out how much money Lil Nas X made from his streaming.
Oh, I would love to know. Yeah, and that may or may not be public information, actually.
I've seen such bands disclose this amount. And
Although, you know what? You could figure it out, though, kind of. So you could look at how many streams Old Town Road has and then multiply that by...
Was it a couple cents?
It was half a penny at one
Half a
point. It was actually 0.4 of a penny at one time.
Then
I don't
think
know if
he
it's
did
gone
pretty
up since
well.
then. But he also is not making all that. He's probably only getting a fraction of that amount.
He's only
But-
got to share it with Billy Ray.
Got-
Billy
yeah.
Ray needs a vet.
Now he does.
Yeah, he's got a little less than half of that, though, right?
think Lil
I don't even know.
Nas X gifted him a car, actually.
His percentage of the streaming royalties could be any number of percentages given his business.
Old Town Road was played just over 125 million times in the U.S. alone.
So
Wow.
I'm sure he made at least, like 8 figures.
So 1% of that is 1.25 million. You said 120.
Both the original and the updated cut were
Half of
played 143 million times,
What?
which is far and away the largest sum any single has ever collected in the U.S. Yes.
Wow. That is something else.
Good for him, though, man.
Outpacing the next
Yeah.
highest ranking title, Five Finger Death Punch's Blue on Black, by almost 3 times as many units sold. I guess
Oh,
that's when
nice.
it came out around
Here
the
for
same
Five
time.
Finger.
Wow.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, man. That
Love
song
the boys
killed.
in Five Finger, yeah.
Go.
Blue on Black.
Those are the
All right, let's
boys.
move on with
but
our,
speaking of Five Finger,
our
let's
setup,
check out
dude.
let's see what's going on with rock music. Speaking of the boys
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Five Finger.
Some cool stuff we
we're-
heard this week.
We did. We're gonna dive into it. We're gonna take a look again as we do at the mainstream rock chart.
We're going to have to blow
Billboard.
through this really quick.
We are certainly going to blow through it, but there's a couple. A lot of these are repeats. Of course, Memphis May Fire still on there. POD, the Raconteurs. We did check out the new Puddle of Mud song earlier today in the studio. We were. It felt tepid. Would be a good description of all huge Puddle. Well, I'm a huge Puddle of Mud fan.
Yeah.
Some of the deeper tracks like Basement. I always liked Psycho, which is not really a deep track, but I like Psycho. There's our boys. They are actually playing locally at one of our favorite venues, the Debonair Music Hall.
I think Mike Camp's running that show, right?
I think he's involved. I think he's one of the primary promoters. And they are playing there, oh, shoot. What did I do with the date? October 12th,
We'll be there.
which we will for sure be there. If we can even still get tickets, hopefully Mike can hook it up.
We'll sneak in the back.
Yep.
I
with Mike.
just want to take a second. Just piggybacking off of that streaming service thing too, which is interesting, is that I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, but Michael Torres, he mentioned that point too. That although now it's more approachable and it's more easy for bands to be like Puddle of Mud and get equal, almost as much success as they did, but now there's also a lot of saturation because now you've got all these bands. Shout out to White Claw. Shout out to Seltzers. There's a lot more saturation in the market. There's a lot more bands.
Yeah.
It's kind of harder to stick out. You don't have those platforms above other people anymore.
And I think that saturation was just coming from the internet already.
Fair.
In the music industry in the last 20 years, and streaming is just like at the pinnacle of this saturation trend.
Yeah, and it's like I'm sure there were still the same amount of bands in the 50s.
Yeah, maybe, but
just not. There was no platform.
I don't think they put out as many albums as like most bands. Like Papa Roach put out they have to pull out like 6 or 7 albums.
But let's
now.
say I'm talking about even bands that are like lower level, who you might see on YouTube and do pretty well, and even go on tour because of the internet. But back then, maybe they just didn't have. They weren't on one of the 8 labels. So you never heard of them, but I'm sure there was just as many bands back then.
And that could be. I mean, like the internet made it easier for kids to learn instruments,
Yes.
So there was that aspect of maybe a growth in musicianship as a result of the internet. So this is all data that I'd love to, uncover. We're just kind of speculating here.
It's
also a good point about the
interesting
saturation.
add-on. So I just wanted to bring it up, and it's a thing. So you just got to be that good, I guess.
Diving back
hopefully we're aiming for.
Diving back into bands being that good, actually, we discovered a band also on this Billboard chart, and number 25 this week was a band called Bad Flower with a song called The Jester.
Cool.
Sounded cool.
It sounded like all kinds of stuff, man.
All kinds of like a progressive, more hard rock driven Death Cab for Cutie kind of. You use that term
He
to
sounded
describe
like
the singer.
He sounded like Death Cab.
Although he got a little more aggressive, especially towards the end of the song.
It was
The Jester.
never, but it was still kind of never. They didn't turn it up. It wasn't like super heavy, but it had kind of like a hard rock tendency, I guess. It was almost like
it was like wavy for a lot of it.
It's like a Harvey Danger kind of like, kind of like vibe.
I didn't like it.
It's not for everybody.
If anybody cares, I have to listen to it again. I don't think
you felt mediocre about it, and then you saw this picture. And you were like, oh, no.
His like platinum white hair is just doing all the right things for me. Let's blast through this.
Also seeing the song "Blow" by Ed Sheeran, Chris Stapleton, and Bruno Mars coming up on the playlist on the countdown. Rather up to 19. That's a fresh song.
Very interesting.
Yeah, if you guys have not heard that. Very cool song. A band called Dinosaur Pile Up, which it was a sick band. Just discovered them today personally.
Sounded cool.
Yeah, these dudes are cool. A little. What's the South African band that we like?
Die Antwoord.
Well, yeah, a little bit of like a little bit of Die Antwoord, but obviously much more of like a punk rock thing happening. But
Yeah.
You talking about Flight of the Conchords?
Are we?
yeah, I could also compare them to Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah, why not?
And then we capped it off with Korn, You'll Never Find Me, which is a song that's
love
been out,
Korn.
I guess. I only just listened to it today for the first time. Awesome.
Same.
The song Cold was
Sounds
awesome.
great. I think they've definitely dug into their roots a little bit with this one. They kind of took a different direction for their last maybe 3 or 4 albums, but I think they've gotten back to a more progressive like thing that, quite frankly, a lot of bands have definitely been
given up
influenced
on.
from.
Yeah.
Well, they've given up on it, but there's been kind of like a revival and kind of like a, not in the mainstream, but in a scene like fashion, it's actually got pretty popular. You got bands like Ginger, Currents, like all this cool kind of genty stuff. Amur's album sounded like Korn. Naturally, that new Korn song sounded like Amur. So I think it's really
It's all
because
relative to the time frame in which you're listening to it.
that's
too, yeah.
true. But I think it all started with Korn, and now they're back, and it's awesome.
It's great, and Cold was sick.
Shout out to Korn.
Very,
Love Cold. Love the other single too.
And he always loved Korn. I remember Dave was really into Korn before I even was like, I even was comprehending Korn. And Dave is my younger brother. For anybody who doesn't know,
That's
and
it.
Dave was like, "No, this band is it." And Dave went out and bought a 7-string guitar.
New metal.
It's right behind you.
It
And
is
it's
behind
here.
me right now.
That very guitar from maybe the year 2004 or 5.
I love it, man. They were ahead of their
Yeah.
time. They were ahead of their time.
Might have been earlier than that.
Korn or that 7-string? Nah.
The dudes.
In any case, speaking of Korn, I have a lightning round that's pretty specifically attuned
Well,
to
we
some of
missed-
the music we just talked about
Missed
today.
a couple things, but that's okay. A little bit of Papa Roach. Want to throw in there?
Yeah, well, we skipped over Papa Roach, but they were in the chart. I felt like I was instructed to speed through the chart. So
Goes
let's
without
get to
saying,
it. But
all Papa
our
Roach's
boys-
stuff is sick.
We love the new album. New album's
It's awesome.
fresh. I don't want to speak
Super
for
cool.
everybody.
No,
Keep
great
speaking
songs.
for everybody.
No,
Great
no, no.
songs.
Keep talking for us, Kevin.
What was the one on the countdown right now? Coming something. What was that song?
I mean, something.
Come around.
Come around.
When I come around.
Coming undone.
Oh, that's
Speaking
even
of Korn.
Yeah, Korn.
Yeah.
Love it.
Speaking of Korn. Oh, you know what? Speaking of Korn, then. Okay, I'm gonna go with the lightning round. I'm gonna pick these two out then before I just randomly blow through them.
Yeah.
Your favorite Korn song?
Oof.
Don't think it's lightning,
Oof.
Dave.
Okay, Thoughtless.
Yep.
Blind.
Oh,
Nice.
okay. I'm going Thoughtless too. Sean went classic. Sean went very classic.
I like their older shit. What was that album I was listening to just recently, and a lot of their songs are a little scary.
I love
Yeah.
Scary.
Thoughtless is scary too. I remember seeing the
Thoughtless
video
was
as a
scary.
kid with the guy, and I guess was
And
it
he
a
threw
wedding?
up
He
on
just
everybody?
threw up on everybody.
So scary.
Dude, yeah, that was just such a creepy progression.
I like Twist. Actually, that song's pretty
Twist was
dope.
called Twist.
old school,
Twist.
yeah.
Twist.
Yeah. And that's just
Amazing.
Twist.
he's
amazing.
got his
Twist.
signature.
Before there was a
Shit.
Yeah.
there was a
Yeah, he was onto the
To the
onomatopoeia,
boom, bop, the
onomatopoeia
onomatopoeia.
thing.
That's where
in
Dave.
rock.
That's where Dave Draymond got it from.
So what was
There it
your
is.
first Korn song?
Blind.
First,
I think
Yeah, I
your
think
answers
yours
were the
was
same.
also simultaneously
it was
the best.
Love at First Sight.
yeah, that's a great question for me. I think it was Here to Stay, and that's probably why I love Untouchables so much. Is that look, I didn't start watching music television and stuff like that, and didn't hear about Korn until, I was like I want to say like 10, and that's when like Untouchables came out. Here to Stay, baby. That's a great song too. That's
And a
an
good
awesome
and a
song.
great album.
It was on the
It is.
countdown #1 for like weeks, and rightfully so. I look forward to seeing it every time.
Speaking of blow,
Oh.
what's your favorite Ed Sheeran song? Pretty out of left field. Yeah, this is a weird. I'm not sure either.
I
I'm
like
not
the
the
one-
hugest fan.
I like the one with all the loops, and he's like singing about the girl.
Castle one.
I was gonna say that Castle on the Hill
that one's
because our good friend Ryan Flannery, check him out. He's the
Shout out Ryan Flannery.
DJ musician at my wedding.
Yes,
He does a very good cover of Castle on the Hill.
Shape of You.
I like Shape of You too. That's
That's
pretty
not
cool.
what you're thinking of, though, is
Yeah.
it?
No, well, he changes.
That's what you were talking about.
Oh, you were talking about
when he-
something
when he does the
sampling
loop
all stuff?
and the.
Oh yeah.
He's talking about the girl.
I was just
Pretty
kinda
much every fucking song he's
That's
ever written.
kind of what I was getting at. Actually.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well,
But,
I specifically
yeah.
I've seen him do that song like with his giant pedal board.
I love that. I think
he's
live,
dope.
I love anything he does. If I had to listen to a song, I think "Shape of You." I think it's the most like dancey, kind
It's sexy.
fun song.
Okay, very good. Also on that song, Blow, was Bruno Mars. What's your favorite Bruno Mars song?
Bruno Mars. I love that "Runaway, Baby."
That's a good song. On his first album,
Hoop Dops and Hooligans.
Doo-wops.
Whoop
I think
Doops.
it's Hula Hoops and
Hoop
Dooligans.
Doops and Doodads.
I actually like the other side, the last song on that album.
That's a good one, too.
That has him, CeeLo Green, and B.O.B. It's a great song.
It's a slower one, but it's
Yeah.
good. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, that's not the one I'm talking about. I'm thinking about a different one. The other side is pretty good.
And
No, that one's pretty fast.
I was waiting on the other side. That's it.
And you.
Don't.
No, it's a good
Let's
one
stop
too.
before
Great
we
album.
get copyright infringement.
Oh man.
Yeah, it sounds just
Because
like it.
wow, what a compliment! It
favorite-
sounded that good. Oh my god.
Favorite Bruno Mars, Sean?
I don't know, 24 Karat.
Pass. Okay, 24 Karat. That's
Wow. No,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good.
I like their new stuff.
I like it too.
good. Favorite Papa Roach song?
Wow. So many good ones off Infest.
Favorite.
Wow.
Dave, drop it. Drop it. Favorite Papa Roach song?
I forgot the name of it. Blood Brothers. Blood Brothers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And if you've listened to,
John, favorite Papa Roach song?
I don't know.
I'm going Getting Away with Murder.
dude, that's a
That's
great
a good
song.
tune.
So
too.
cool.
I want to take back my answer. It's
Yes.
a good one.
It's a great
No,
song.
Blood-
Such a sick bass
But
line.
Blood Brothers
is
was
good.
in the Tony Hawk
Tony
soundtrack.
Hawk. Yep,
so,
Tony Hawk.
Done.
Done.
Yeah, I like that album.
That whole album's great.
Love, Hate, Tragedy. Is that what
Yeah.
But that
That's
was the
it.
one after with Time and Time Again, She Loves Me Not. That was a great one too. But Kevin, the one Getting Away with Murder was the one after that. I think titled Get Away with Murder. And
I
their
remember,
debut off of their, like their major label debut was Infest, which had, Last Resort, Blood Brothers.
Yeah.
And,
Which was
Dead Cell, Broken Home.
Big
Great album
Scars.
too.
Scars was the one with Getting Away with Murder.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, that
right.
was big.
Yeah, they definitely took, they kind of, that's when they started kind of evolving a little bit.
I like Wanna Be Loved too. We're answering questions. I just asked for the favorite, and now we're all just like,
Because we
we
just,
love them all.
That's what we do.
We have so
Dave,
many
Dave
favorites.
went on a Papa Roach rant
I
there
did.
really quick.
A Papa Rant.
Papa Rant Roach
So just
rant.
a quick reminder for anybody listening, Puddle of Mud is playing in the New Jersey area if you're around here October 12th. Guys, what is your favorite Puddle of Mud song?
Drift and Die. Done.
That jacket.
Dude, that
I
jacket
like
is...
Drift and Die a lot. Drift and Die is
Drift
a
and Die
great
is
song.
great.
Early
As
on.
a drift and die.
Was that also your first Puddle of Mud song? Because that's
Oh
the
my
next
God.
lightning round
See,
question.
this is the good, the bad, and the ugly.
and
I
the
mean,
the
he
good,
likes a
the
lot
bad,
of
and the
Look
puddle.
at this guy. The sexy, the muddy, the puddle, handsome.
The missing
He's
Hanson
no, this
brother.
isn't the puddle. This is like a dry, sunny day.
This was like, that's
You
a
know.
puddle of stud right there.
Nice.
Thank you.
So clever.
Thank you.
Blurry.
Yeah, Blurry's
Blurry's
a great
great, too.
song.
Yeah.
But we do She Hates Me. Doesn't mean it's our favorite song.
Yeah,
She
I think
hates
it's
it.
great.
That's up there,
Great
too.
bar
Yeah.
song. If you said best puddle mud bar song,
Yeah.
boom, She Hates Me.
That song is definitely an anthem.
My first one was probably Blurry too. I didn't catch on to them yet at Drift. I think Drift and Die was one of their
It
earlier
was their
singles.
first single.
Yeah,
was
and
Drift and
I
Die.
didn't hear that.
No,
I
it's
remember- I missed
Control.
that.
It's Control actually,
Control.
and then Drift and
Control.
Die.
Cool
Drift and
songs.
Die was the best.
Well, we're coming to the end of our weekly, almost maybe bi-weekly at this point. We're not sure if we're going to do this as often as possible, but we're coming to the end. And, guys, I just have one more really important lightning round question for you guys. What's your favorite song on Saint Anger by
Oh
Metallica?
my God!
Whoa.
Wow, where do I begin?
Fracture.
No, lightning round, Dave. Don't begin, just end.
I forgot the one after. I forgot the name of them. I just put it on and I just listened to it straight through.
Okay.
Show me a track listing and I'll tell you exactly which one I like.
I got you, bro.
This feels so unlightning-like. I'm going to stick with Frantic.
Frantic. I meant Frantic.
I love
not
Frantic,
Fracture.
but there's the one
Love
after
Frantic.
Frantic, which is awesome.
The one after Frantic
There's
is
like a
Saint
song.
Anger. Some
Nah,
kind of monster.
keep going.
Dirty,
No.
dirty window.
Boom, Dirty Window.
Oh, Dirty
is great.
Window's cool.
Love
I
Dirty
stick
Window.
with Frantic, though, with my answer.
I think I'm with Dirty Window.
Cool songs.
Frantic, tick, tick. Yeah,
That's a great song.
It's
too.
creative.
It's a great song.
Anyway, in case you haven't heard an arguable defense for the Metallica album Saint Anger in a long time, here's another one. You got 2.5 fans of the album. maybe 3 fans
What of what?
of the album Saint Anger.
I like Saint Anger.
You
yeah.
got 3 fans of the
I
album
like Saint Anger. I just don't like the way Dave, like out of nowhere, out of left field, was like, "Dude, Saint Anger's the best Metallica album ever.
Yes.
Fight me."
Yes, I
Out of
definitely.
nowhere, like last month. Like, where you been, dude?
You know what it is? I think I just revisited it. I always loved it, but I see it's still kind of an internet hate trend, and people just hop on that train. And so, I just wanted to be kind of exclamatory with my
Oh, yeah.
position.
You nailed that.
You exclaimed.
And
You're like, hit up my DM for all those haters of Saint
Look,
Anger's.
I'm a pretty agreeable guy. I need something to fight for.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I'm fighting for. And
I've
that's
always
Saint
liked
Anger.
dude, this album came out like maybe 2004.
Yeah.
2000,
That's another
2003,
see,
I
and
think,
this
yeah.
this was
2003,
kind of this was my golden age of starting to really get into this stuff, and Saint Anger was really my first Metallica album that was new in my lifetime that I picked up on. So I think that holds a special place, but it holds water, baby. Listening back now, that snare slaps.
Great songs.
And I
from
don't
a great
care.
band.
I don't care what y'all say. It gives me a headache after 8 songs, I gotta admit. I do have to admit. But
a
it's
high ping. Dude.
I know that's what everyone's trashing, but that's the point. Do you think the engineer had no idea it was ringing like that, Sounds great.
Well, speaking of ringing in headaches,
As you can
we
see.
have been ascending from ashes. This is our weekly / bi-weekly / the best we can do podcast.
AFA
The AFA-Cast. And we've been 3/4 of Ascending from Ashes. Please tune in tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for AFA Live.
Yes.
For 4 quarters worth. For full
The full package.
The full
True that.
the other fourth.
The full Monty.
For 4
full
quarters
Monty.
of AFA.
Full Monty. Thank you guys.
Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. See you
Thank you
tomorrow.
for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow.
Listen to Saint Anger.
Listen to Saint Anger.